Welcome on the MailChimp cross-border trading lesson. So before explaining how to use MailChimp, I want to say explain what is MailChimp and what is it used for. MailChimp, it's mailchimp.com. It's a service online to send emailing. It's a service owned by Google, by Gmail. So the strong of MailChimp is it's Gmail behind. When you're sending email from MailChimp, you know that all the email will arrive at destination. That's all the power of MailChimp. The second advantage of MailChimp is it's free for 2,000 subscribers, 2,000 email of people, and you can send until 6 email for them per month, so 12,000 email. Well, actually it's just 2,000 because you cannot have more than 2,000 people inside. You can of course have more, but if you want more, each time that you take you subscribe for a new subscriber, it will be 2 cents US. So it's not very cheap. MailChimp is good because it's a free platform for the first 1,000 people subscriber, but after you have to pay, and I think it's quite expensive. So I will show you this tool. I will show you another tool later to send massive email, millions of email. But MailChimp is good because you know that when you send an email from MailChimp, you know that it will always arrive at destination. It's Gmail who send the mail. It will always arrive at destination, and it's something very useful nowadays because the anti-spam filter are very strong now. Before explaining you how to use MailChimp, you need to know that each of us who has an email address receive around 200 email per day of spam email, and your email provider is killing most of them. There is a powerful anti-spam filters in all system, in all mailing system. So when you are sending mass mailing, most of your email will go in spam. Really, the most part of them will go in spam. What is the really strength of MailChimp? MailChimp is very powerful to overpass anti-spam filters. Here you see the monkey MailChimp who will eat the anti-spam filters. So that's really the strength of MailChimp. MailChimp is owned by Gmail. Actually, it's Gmail who is sending the email for you, and they pass every anti-spam filters. They are really good for this. The problem of MailChimp, even if you are really good, is that it is quite expensive, very expensive. The 2,000 first email are free. That's what he is famous. But after, it's quite expensive. It's 2 cents US per email, so it can go very high, very fast. Before explaining you more in detail about MailChimp, I want you to create a Spam Gourmet account. Why a Spam Gourmet? Because Spam Gourmet will give you unlimited email address. This is useful if you want to create several accounts on MailChimp, and if you don't already have several email address. Why? Because each time that you create an account on MailChimp, you can send 2,000 more email for free. You can send 12,000 email for free, but on the 12,000 actually there is 2,000 to 2,000 different email address. So you can send 6 email to one guy, but it's not 1 email to 12,000. So actually you consider that you can just send 2,000. So to avoid this problem, you can create different accounts on MailChimp. And to create different account on MailChimp, you can have plenty of email address. If you have created plenty of email address, you can do it. You don't need to use a Spam Gourmet. But if you don't have a lot of email address and you don't want to create one email address on QQ, one email address on Yahoo, one email address on Gmail, one email address on Hotmail, one email address and you can multiply it like this. If you don't want to do this, you can just create an account on Spam Gourmet, and after Spam Gourmet will generate for you unlimited email address. So it will take you a few seconds to create an account on Spam Gourmet, and after you have unlimited email address. So no need to no need to create your own email address after to create new accounts on MailChimp. That's the thing. So Spam Gourmet is not this actually. Spam Gourmet is a solution to generate email address. It's an email address generator, but it's an email address generator where you say, hey, this email is for this website, and I'm okay to receive 3 email, for example. After 3 email, I don't want any message anymore. So if I receive more than 3 email from this one, it's probably a spam I'm not interested on. So Spam Gourmet will eat the spam. So you can say I'm generating an email and I'm okay to receive 1000 email on it, and like this you will not need to you will generate your email, unlimited email. Actually you just type toto tata titi whatever you want dot your Spam Gourmet new email, and the system will accept it. And actually you can hide your name. If you use Spam Gourmet, people will immediately recognize what is it. It's a Spam Gourmet, it's a wrong email address. But you can use your email at member.net. Member.net, you look like a military base, military camp. It's a system look very professional. It's see that you are in the army, and actually it's just a system to protect you, to generate email address. So you will use this to generate your account on MailChimp if you want to generate a lot of different accounts to send your email. So Spam Gourmet is just here to generate as many email as you want, to create as many MailChimp accounts you want. So now that you have your Spam Gourmet account created, you just go on mailchimp.com, you go on the sign up, you generate a new Spam Gourmet email. So it's just whatever you want number dot your Spam Gourmet account, and you replace Spam Gourmet by member.net, just like here. You put a username, a password, you create your account, and it's done. And you can do this as many times as you want. You just change the character in front of your Spam Gourmet email, and you will be able to create unlimited accounts. Or they will probably found it after several MailChimp are not stupid. They track your IP address, they track the message. They will probably recognize. But if you do it, I think you can do it several times. They will not banish you. MailChimp lesson has some strong interaction with the lesson about how to harvest the yellow pages, any kind of yellow page in any section, or how to collect data from domain name registration, the WHOIS. So what for? To collect a big database of email of people, companies, for your prospect actually, to contact them, to be able to customize the email you send. Hello Nicolas, you are this company, and to have a mail dedicated to everyone. You need a good database, and for this, harvesting the yellow page is a very good solution. The second lesson who is interacted with is the how to install trackers on your website, because you will put the trackers in the email. So here we explain you how to put the trackers, but on the website you need to track it. So you also need to follow the lesson about how to track on your website. So now the first thing you would have to do is to import the list of subscribers, to import the email address, your database of email address, the name, and all the field that can be useful for the email. So you click on import your list, and now you have to create the main information about the list. So the list name. Here I will import, for example, the people that I collect from Alibaba. So we'll call it Alibaba. I will put my email address, so it will be the email address of the sender. And when you will have to reply, when people will reply to it, you will reply to this email address, my name, and a little message that will appear on the email about how did I collect how did I get the email. So I said it's I just found the email through Alibaba. So like this, people know how do I know them. So now you have to find the way to collect the information to transfer your database. The best way will be you can use CSV, but you need to convert in good format. The easiest way would be Excel. You take Excel, and so you click on Excel, and after you will send everything from Excel to it. So it will have each information will be split with tabulation. So you take Excel. So here we're supposed to give an Excel format. The thing is, if you have followed the training lessons before to how to harvest, normally you have your database already in SQL in the harvest database, harvest table. So you have to export from your database your table harvest to use the email address. So what you do, you go on export, you go on phpMyAdmin, of course, you select the good table and you click on exports. So from the export page from phpMyAdmin, you can select downstairs the format. You don't want an SQL format, you want a CSV for Excel. So the system will automatically open it on Excel on the good format, and that's all. So now that you have the database on Excel, you have the big Excel file with all the information. The first thing you have to do is to clean it up. Your campaign is an Alibaba campaign. You have maybe a harvest different directories for the moment. So you remove everything who is not related to Alibaba, because if you want to say, hey, I found you from Alibaba, and actually they are not on Alibaba, I will say, how? It's impossible. You will do other campaign for other people, and actually it's better like this because you can customize your email too. You have a specific email for Alibaba targets, and you have a specific campaign for people from Yellow Page, for example. So you have to clean up your database to keep only those that you're interested on, and also if you have I guess a lot of people who doesn't have email address, you can remove them. It's unuseful for MailChimp. MailChimp only use people with email address, so remove all those who doesn't have email address. And last thing, you have to, when you were collecting the email address, you were collecting all the email address related to someone, to an account on Alibaba. So if Alibaba had 2 domain name, and on this domain name there was 4 email address, for one account you have 8 email address, but you cannot give 8 email address in the field of 1 email address for Alibaba. You need to have, each field need to have 1 email only. So what you do is you explode the line and you copy the line 8 times, and you put the email address each of them in one of them. So doesn't matter if you repeat the name of the guy 8 times or the phone number 8 times. What is important is the email address is different each time. So you adjust the file to be clean, and just have the row about the field that you are interested on, just like the name, the phone numbers, the email address, all the field that you want to add in the email campaign. That's the first thing to do. So now that you have your entire Excel file with the phone number, the name, the city, the domain name, the reference in database, do not delete the reference in the database. You see the row A, it's numbers. Actually it's the reference on the database. Do not delete it, because you will need it for the trackers. For the trackers on the email, you absolutely need this field, because you will put it in the tracker on the link. So when people will click on it, you will know, this guy just arrived on the website, and actually it's the number 2726 in our database. So it's Mr. Evie Zong, and I have his phone number. I can contact him directly. So you have the email and everything. So keep the reference in the database. Do not delete it. It's a very important field. You can think it's not important. It is very important. So after that you have all of this, you have to remove the duplicate email address. Don't remove the duplicate phone numbers. It's normal that you have duplication in phone numbers. It's normal that you have duplication on name. It's normal that you have the duplication on domain name. But you have to remove duplication on the email address. And to remove the duplication on the email address, you cannot use the function remove duplicates of Excel, because it will not work. You will check the entire line and you say, no, it's different. It's you have something different on maybe on the phone number, or your email address is used in a different company, so you cannot. Don't use the remove duplicates function of Excel. What you have to do, you have to do a little Excel request, which is you sort out everything from the email address. So all the email address will be one under the others, very similar. And just that's the column H here on Excel. And in the column I, you say equal if H2 equal H1, comma 1, comma 0, which means if the case on my right is the same, exactly the same than the case just on top of it, which means if you are the same characters, if you are the same email address, then you show 1, else you show 0. So each time that there will be a duplicate, they will show 1. Each time that there is no duplication, it's a new one, it will be 0. So like this you will be able after to remove it. So now that you have all the table with 0 and 1 just next to the email address, and where 0 means it's a duplicate email address and 1 means a duplicate email address and 0 means it's a new fresh email address, you just have to filter them. So you click on the filter and you say show me all the 1 everywhere where it's 1. So you will have all the duplicates email address. You select everything and you delete. I don't want duplication, so you delete it. So you will just have after the rest who is fresh email address with all the information. So you will be able to use it. So here you have a final Excel file, which is not actually completely final, but you have an Excel file with all the email address, all the information that you will use on the mail that you will send them. For example, you can use the phone number. Say, hey, does this phone? Can I call you on this phone? Is it still a good phone number? Just to show you, to show to the guy that you don't know, you know who he is, and you are customizing the email as much as possible. So you have the name of the guy, the city, the domain name, and something very important, the ID of the guy on the database. And this ID is extremely important because you will use it as a tracker on the email. So here you have all database. What I recommend you is, if you want to keep to do a very formal email, dear Mr. Landerwall, that's a very formal way. You can do something very formal, but for commercial, for marketing, usually it's better to call them directly by their first name. So hello Lander is it's more common, it's more commercial marketing. Just dear Mr. Lander, it's a bit too formal. So to not be too formal, you have to remove all the Mr. and Mrs. and you have to keep only the first name. You remove the last name, doesn't matter. And for those, and you see here there is the second row who is hello Chenli, or hello Lander, or hello Lucy. Here it's actually we're using hello, the first name, when there is a first name. If there isn't a first name, if the person didn't fulfill the field first name when he write the information on Alibaba, you wouldn't have it here. So what you have to do in that case you have to say dear. Dear, you don't know who is behind, so you say dear, and at least it will pass it, so it's okay. You still have all your information about the domain name, the company name, so it's less customized, but but still it's English, it's proper. So how to do this in Excel is just equal if C1, which means the case C1 equal quote quote, if it's empty, comma dear, comma hello C1. And so it's not very complex to do. I should have write it here, but just if it's empty you put dear, if it's not empty you put hello and the first name. So like this, on the email you will contact him and say, hello Lander. It's better than dear Mr. Lander Law, which is a bit formal. And one thing, never let field empty on this. Why? Because MailChimp will, if MailChimp see an empty field, just like if you don't have the city, you write China. It's global, but it's not empty. Don't let any empty field, else the system will block when he will see an empty field. So here you just copy paste the two first thousand from your Excel list to MailChimp. Why two first thousand? Because the two first thousand are free. If you want to use more, if you have a much longer list, you create a new account and you use it on a new account. Or you can buy credits, but actually credit is quite expensive, so I don't recommend you to buy credit. But you can, yes, you can buy credit at 0 to 2 cents large US dollars per email. I think it's quite expensive. It's one of the most expensive service on earth about emailing. So it's a very powerful, because it's owned by Gmail and it will overpass any anti-spam filters. Even the Gmail anti-spam filter creates himself, so yes, you will. But he will really overpass any anti-spam filter. It's a very strong system, but it's expensive. So after 2000, I recommend you to create a new account. So you just copy paste everything in the import list from Excel, and that's all. So now that you have imports all your Excel file on MailChimp, you have to give some title to the row. So this column is to the column, not to the row, to the column. This column is the title. Hello Nicolas. This column is the first name. This column is the company name. This column is domain name. This column is the email address. Actually, email address you will recognize immediately on his own. What is it? And like this, you will be able to use this information directly on the email. So when you will write the email will be automatically filled with this information. It's extremely important to customize your email. And now you have to create the new account, the new campaign. So you're in the campaign, you just click on send a campaign. So now you click on create new campaign, regular campaign. You will have the little screen, which list you want. You send Alibaba entire list, and you press next. So here you have the campaign tool, where you can put the name, the email subject. On the email subject you should have something who will match to his eyes. For example, you say you call him by his first name and you talk about Alibaba. The guy that you're contacting is an Alibaba user, and you are an Alibaba user, for example. You receive a mail who call you from your name and who talk in the title something really related to you. You will read it. That's definitely you will maybe think that it's a client who is interested by your product. You will say, you will read it. That's typically what you have to do. You have to do a title, subject who is customized, so the one who read it will click all the time. For example, try to find a way. Calling by the first name, it's useful, but a lot of people are doing this. Here I'm talking about Alibaba, so it's really matched to him because he is an Alibaba user. But if you else you can use the city. Hi, I will be in. You know his city. You talk about a city in the title. You use customized title, something that when the guy who will receive the email will see the title, the subject. It will immediately sting. It will he will immediately say, ah, this one I have to read it. It's not a spam, or at least it doesn't look like a spam. So to know the variable, here we see that it's merge 5. It's star pipe merge 5. How to know the name of this? You see there is a special specified merge tags. You can click on it and you will have the list of all the tags and the name of the column in your database. So like this you will know exactly what is what, and you can use these tags to create your email. So you have to use these tags, it's very important. So create a template. Here you will have a list, series of different templates that you can use. Actually, I really recommend to have the most simple one, the really simplest one. Do not take something complex. Do not take something with a lot of photos and a lot of advertisement and thing, because when the reader will read it, he will see something with logos, with image, with a lot of things. Immediately, in the quarter of seconds that he will see this, he will say, ah, that's an advertisement. That's an advertisement. You know that he will not stay a long time on it. He will spend few seconds, and after few seconds he will probably get out and he will never read it again, because it's an advertisement. He receives billions of advertisement all the time. He is not interested by advertisement. You, when you're writing to your mom, when you're writing to your girlfriend, when you're writing to your friend, when you're writing to anyone, are you putting some advertisement on your mail? Are you putting some commercial picture or little people who are having fun? Hey! No, you are writing a letter, and it's classic letters. It's classic mail. It's just content. You should take this, because when someone will see this, he's not used to see this as a spam. Spam are not like this. Spam are with a lot of flashy thing, with a lot of image, with a lot of advertisement, with a lot of links everywhere, with stupid design. People think that a mail with design is nice. Mail with design is stupid. If you use design, you will know that the guy will get out of your email immediately, because you see in the quarter of a second that it's a spam. He doesn't like it. He will run away. If you see a mail with just content, basic content, with basic text, he will say, and he will read it completely. And after 1 minute, if you think, but it's a spam, you think, no, it can't be. It really doesn't look like a spam. So he will read it again, and he will read it again. He will read it 4 or 5 times. He will be so impressed that it's a spam. It doesn't look like a spam. It's a commercial thing. It really doesn't look like. So, but he will know perfectly your message, because he would have read it 3 times, 4 times. He will know perfectly what you're saying. So I really recommend you to take a very basic template. Don't take anything with bing stuff. Just take something extremely simple. So as I say, don't do anything complex. Just basic content, just like here. Here you have the example. Very basic content. And the second good point of this is, first, that people will read it much more carefully than advertisements. They will read it many times. And second point is, when you send this, it has more chance to pass the anti-filter spam, because it doesn't look like a spam, so the anti-filter system will not stop it immediately. It's one creature that's helped the anti-spam to not stop it. So here you can clearly see that there is some there's some variable who have customized the message with here is star pipe merge 5 pipe, which is the MailChimp system to put some tags. So here it means hello Nicolas, and a bit later on, I found your email on, and you put the domain name where you get it. So the guy will say, oh, this guy really has really paid attention to who I am, and he has read my email, so he know what I'm doing, and it's not a spam. It's not immediately in the mind of the guy that it's a spam. He will think that it's really someone who is interested by my product, or it's someone who is interested by who I am, who know who I am, and it's a dedicated email. Someone has spent 1 hour to write me an email. He's nice. He's a pretty guy who wants to do anything. I don't know what, but he won't. It's not a spam. Most important thing that he has in the mind, it's not a spam. So he will read carefully the mail, and when he read carefully the mail, he will know everything what you're saying, anything of the product you're selling, the offer you're giving him. On this, you will see also on the URL here. It's http www.crossborder.com/ppt dash. So it's crossbordertraining.com/ppt. So it will go to the PowerPoint, the video of the PowerPoint, and dash merge 4. Merge 4 is the ID, is the tracker. So you need to put the tracker to know when the guy will click on it, you will not. It's this guy. It's Nicolas. It's Nicolas from China LED80A.cn. So you know that this guy is right now on your website, and you can give him a phone call immediately. So he's on your website. He's looking for a product. You can call him immediately, and you will sell him the product online, on lifetime. Just like if you were in a real shop, you are in a shop, and there is a seller who arrives. What are you looking for? You are looking for a dress, thin dress. It's a wedding dress. It's a what? And you have the